That's the thing is we do need an intro.
You know what? This is the intro. Welcome to GovStrat AI. It's our very first rambling podcast episode, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about why we are starting this amazing company called GovStrat AI, and why we are building a company that's specifically geared at helping those in the government contracting space to understand how to leverage AI, how it can help improve your business operationally, how AI affects the unique challenges in government contracting, and how ultimately you can leverage AI to create a more efficient company, win more government contracts, win more government work with primes, and leverage it to increase profit margins and make more money. Boom! How's that, Josh? That's a
I
very
think it's
first
a
intro.
pretty good TLDR of what we are, but we didn't start with who we are. So who are you, Mike?
So my name is Mike Freeder, and I am co-founder of GovStrat AI. But I also am a serial entrepreneur, race car driver, and all-around technology nerd.
Love it. And I'm Josh Hirsch. Uh, been a DIY tinkerer and early adopter of tech and all things digital for the last 25, 30 years. And more so over the last, gosh, I can't believe it's 3 or 4 years now that we're really living in this AI world. We've had AI for 20 plus years, but what we know of it now and in its current iteration, I can't even say current iteration because Mike, the conversations we had when we first began launching GovStrat, about a year or so ago, AI is in a completely different place. Not even just in that 12 months, but even like the last 3 months with everything that has evolved. We could go down a rabbit hole talking about OpenClaw and what's that meaning for agentic AI. I truly believe, and I'm a futurist, I'll admit it. I think that we're living in tomorrow, but August 29th, 1997, the day that Skynet came online, is around the corner. I'm fully of belief that is it going to be come sentient? I don't know. I can't say that because what I'm seeing it do in just the last few days that I've been working with Walter. Walter's the name of my Claude by the way. What's the name of yours, Mike?
Yeah. So mine is Ralph.
And why we put like anthropomorphic names and but I think it's because we treat them as employees. And I think that's what's key when working with AI. AI should be sitting at the table with you. It is not, it's more than a tool. It is a partner along the journey. It's a partner to make you better at what you do. It's a partner for you to be more efficient. It's a partner for you to close more proposals, get more work, and overall have superpowers that you didn't realize you had before. It is absolutely wild.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, if you look at it, about a year and a half ago, Josh and I were just kind of sitting around a table, and we were saying, wow, like this AI stuff is really, really cool, and we were beginning to leverage so much AI in our own businesses that we have going on. And a little bit of a background on me. I own a company called On Call Computer Solutions, one of the sister divisions specifically focused on U.S. defense contractors, and deals with cybersecurity, deals with compliance, deals with helping them win net new business. Really cool stuff. So I've got a pretty big background in terms of government contracting, and especially in highly regulated government contracting like defense, and their unique challenges. And we were just talking with each other about how profound the impact is that AI has had, the leverage that AI has created. And it's funny because now a year later, we're kind of getting this thing off the ground, getting some traction with it. And you talk about being sentient. The question is, well, what is sentient? Right? If we've got to the point now where we have built AI assistants that we essentially have named, given personalities to, and who are capable of autonomous work, which by the way, a year ago this was literally not possible. When this little entity of ours, GovStrat AI, was founded, this wasn't possible. Now, I mean, wow.
I think WoW is right. Uh, I'm all for the belief that we need to embrace it. The train is on the tracks, and whether you as a company, you as an individual are currently using AI, someone that you're talking to, your competitors are clearly trying to get that advantage. And we realize that there's just so much we can do in the day. We know that our to-do lists are growing. We know that we want to be more efficient. We know that we want to scale and grow. And it's not a buzzword. It's like a necessity to have AI as that partner at the table. And that's where GovStrat comes into play. GovStrat AI is your partner to utilize AI, learn to identify where are those gaps within your organization's workflow. What are those speed bumps? Because I'm a big believer there are no problems. There's opportunities for a solution. And how can we utilize AI to do that effectively? And with the, decades of experience that Mike and I have in the world of tech and design and strategic thinking, logical thinking, and that's the really cool stuff when it comes to AI. People think, oh, I have to be this crazy developer and build things. Yes, having an understanding of coding and that structure works, but it's more about how do I think logically? How do I use reason? How do I use critical thinking to identify what is that solution that I want to create? And how can I work backwards and have AI as my partner at the table to get me to that point?
That's right. Yeah. And, so working, with a lot of government contractors as I do, one of the big aha moments is that CEOs and executives these days know that they need to leverage AI, but yet they've got existing revenue models that have to be adapted. They have operations that have to be adapted. And, it's one thing if you've got that nerd on staff that can go and build a Claude bot, for instance, or, an open claw machine. But does that person have actual tangible business knowledge? And in most cases, that answer is no. I mean, to get that tangible business knowledge, they're out there building the business, right? They're doing the things that are required across operations. So, I think that's really one of the places where we envision that GovStrat is an incredible partner. It is not in building some advanced AI strategy. It is not in building, although we can do that too, it is not in a situation where we're inventing something new. The world is still waking up to realize, whoa, my business can be disrupted by AI, or whoa, margins are tightening. And that's a big one, right? I'll give you a terrific example. I hired and fired about 3 different people when we were trying to figure out how do we build a YouTube channel for another business of mine. And when we were doing that, I came up with this frustration, which was I could define a task that I needed done repeatedly that was mundane, it was boring, it did require a little bit of generation. But a human just wasn't really fit for it. They just got bored. And then they started goofing off, and then they don't show up to work, and the next thing you know, they're sick with some chronic disease that, it spirals out of control unbelievably quickly. And if you've ever employed people, you know. Meanwhile, we could set up a very, very simple, without getting into the weeds, a simple GPT that literally took hours and hours out of my day, right, to deal with the employees that had to write the scripts, review of the scripts, trying to make sure that those employees were trained, that they showed up, and that they were able to deliver on time. And meanwhile, AI could just do it, and they could do it reliably, and they've been doing it now for almost 2+ years, powering this entire scripting process and YouTube channel. And that's not complicated, but it's super complicated if you're busy running businesses, and if you're busy bidding on government contracts, and if you don't realize the efficiencies that are there. And so, as Josh and I were kind of talking about, what do we do with GovStrat? Well, the answer is GovStrat is the answer to what do you do with AI.
I love that. GovStrat is the answer to what you do with AI. And I think that's a perfect last little earworm we're gonna leave you with today. When you think about what you do as a business, what you do as a government contractor, what you're trying to accomplish, you want to do more. And that's plain and simple. We know that we have lofty goals, and it's not always possible. GovStrat is the answer when it comes to AI. AI is what we all need, and that's not about the buzzword. It's about wanting to not only just maintain, but grow. It's about wanting to stay up with our competitors, but also go beyond what we think is possible. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and he's like, "Wow, I really wish I could do blah blah blah." Now I'm not going to say what that is because it's a project that we're working on. And I said, "You know what? Give me 72 hours. Give me. I'm going to go with throwback here, a deep reference. Give me some Jolt Cola, and watch me go to town to see what we can build." And that's really where it is. With AI at the table, with GovStrat with you along at the table, anything is possible. Mike, it's been a great time sitting down with you. Look forward to more of these conversations. And I think what's key is that it's not about tech speak. It's about clear, logical reasoning and understanding what your business goals are and how AI can assist you to fill those gaps.
That's right. Yep. And if this is the first time seeing one of our videos, because it's the first video we're making, all I can say is smash that subscribe button because we're going to be delivering information, techniques, but we're going to do it in non-techie, business-like language, specifically dialed in right over here, government contractors. If you're a GovCon, all right, if you're a GovCon company and you do business with the government or you do business with a prime that goes out and wins government work, this is the channel for you. Okay, we're building it specifically for you. There's no other resource like this. It's not a bunch of nerds talking about, Claude code and stuff like that or ChatGPT code and building custom. No, we're going to talk about practical applications. We might get into weeds a little bit, but ultimately, if you've got a government contracting business or you work in one, this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to be back every single week with new content, and we can't wait to see you again soon.
Thanks again.